All right, hello boys and girls. We're so excited. We're here to report with Mrs. Koitzer and myself the lunch raffle winners. So these people won, I'm going to say the students and then the teacher that they won with. So lunch with Mrs. Madrid is Grace Kramer and Charlotte Clark. With Mrs. Mace, Corey Anderson and Sathi Dokatichu. And with Mrs. Martin, Macy Whistle and Millie Phillips.
With Mrs. Boyd, Liz Bassler and Savannah DePrimo. Miss Calcaterra, Jake Breed, Sarah Kaiser. Mrs. Hickle has lunch with Clark Samuels and Teddy Zuschel. And the rest of first grade with Mrs. Schoeffel, Presley Willett, and Riley Burris.
All right. With Mrs. Cooksey, Logan Roddy and Natalie Werner. With Miss Frederick, Lucy Koizenkothen and Kendall Burns. With Miss Heitman, Ryan Moshman and Katie Mershon. With TK, she took on 4 lunches with Remy Schenberger, Emma Weiss, Katie Beth Terrell, and Claire Spence.
All right, these students have won lunch with the 3rd grade teachers. So for Miss Bosdeck, we have Isaac Camacho and Grant Evans. With Miss Hooper, Reese Willett and Bradley McKinney. Mrs. Shaughnessy, Heidi Hunter and Millie Pekalovich. And Miss Takis, Isabel Clark and Megan Crete.
All right, and then the 4th grade, who won with Miss Bushman, is Rosemarie Getz, Gabe Mershon. In Miss Gastrich's room, Isabella Ansel and Oliver Neiman. In Miss Joy's room, Michael Pite and Cadence Wisbrock. With Miss Schrick is Carter Bushman and Elaine Adams, and with Mrs. Tilley is Catherine Potts and Luke Georger.
All right, lunch with 5th grade teachers with Mrs. Farmer, Sydney Murphy, and Ryan Brooks. With Mrs. Holtman, Mira Whistle, Maggie Blunt. With Mrs. Schaefer, Hannah Sarich and Katie Hughes. And with Mrs. Turek, Libby Galbraith and Owen Turek.
Okay, and then Miss Carson is going to be having lunch with Armin Masinovich and Alan Culkin. And Miss Kelsch is going to have lunch with Audrey Jones and Selma Culkin.
All right. With Mr. Lose, Jacob Onder and Oliver Russo. And then with our counselors, Mrs. Herman, Tessa DeWitt, and with Mrs. Pepple, Owen Waldrop, and Olivia Smith.
All right, with Mrs. Moon is Gunnar McRoy and Cabri Jordan. With Miss Seifert is Claire Jones and Brooklyn Duhadway. And Miss Weiss is going to be having lunch with Levi Layton and Caroline Willett.
All right, some more of our block special teachers. Mrs. Siegfried, Adeline Alonzo, and Noah Mangrich Fleck. With Mrs. Creech, Wynn Brakefield and Gretchen Koitzer. And with Mrs. Getty, Josephine Mullins and Amelia Lissini.
All right, then we have with Miss Snyder, we're going to have Christine Ranieri and Joey Rideout, Miss Grafe, Olivia Waldrop, and Charlie Potts. And then with Miss Nehans, Jack Polite and Thomas Madrid.
All right, and with me, Mrs. Koitzer, Amelia Rokita, and Helen Freudel.
And I know there's one student in this school that has been sitting on the edge of her seat waiting to know if she won lunch with the great Dr. Molman, and that would be Lane Galbraith. Yay, Lane, and Sophia Courtois.
Oh, very fun.
Yeah.
Now, boys and girls, your teacher will reach out to you when they're going to set up that special time with them. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you for all your great donations to our Helping Hands campaign.